Hi, Gary and Eddie. It's Lizzie
and Andrea.
We're up on the Pennine Way in the middle of the spine race, just watching out for some runners who are arriving on the top of the Cheviots at 1 o'clock in the morning.
We've got our ice spikes on and the wind is blowing. It's misty up here and we're crunching through the snow.
So to all those runners out there, huge congratulations to the spiners and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast.
Done some Chinese New Year facts.
Yes, please.
We've got a friend who's Chinese and she said that we should have a Chinese takeaway last night. So we did, and then we have to have seafood with it. Kind of symbolises wealth and prosperity for the
Symbolises what's going on in your guts this morning.
Yeah, that's another story. I copied and pasted, so apologies if these are not actually factually correct.
Really? Because everything we normally talk about is so factually correct.
So on the 17th of February, the Chinese New Year of the Fire Horse begins, and there are six things to avoid to ensure against bad luck. This is excellent. I'm all in for this.
Right, I'm all in for these too. I'm writing them down.
Well, first one, you should wear red. Apologies, Eddie, I should have...
Why did you not tell me that? Already I'm going under the bus, okay.
Going to be a terrible 20 to 26. So don't sweep or take out rubbish. The act of sweeping...
I've already swept my floor and put the rubbish outside today. This is a disaster.
The act of sweeping on this day is associated with sweeping wealth away.
I knew it. And we just discussed that disappointing invoice.
It symbolises dumping out the good luck or good fortune from the house.
Oh my God, this is a disaster.
Don't say any more because you're literally going to trigger the next one. Avoid unlucky words like disaster. Nobody wants to hear words with negative meanings during the Lunar New Year period. Avoid saying words related to death, sickness, poverty, ghosts. People replace them with euphemisms if they need to talk about such topics. For example, saying somebody is gone instead of somebody has died. What's been your breakfast this morning?
Oh, toast.
That's good. No breakfast porridge. Good. Chinese traditions and superstitions say you should not eat porridge or eat meat for breakfast on the first day of the lunar year.
Henry VIII. No one's eating meat for breakfast, are they?
Have a fry up, I suppose, a full English. Apparently, oats symbolises poverty. Number 4 on the list is avoid washing or cutting hair. So I'm going to go to the gym today and treadmill session. Going to be crazy sweaty because it's only going to be me and George for the rest of the day. I don't think I'm going to see any civilians. Do I just not shower until tomorrow? Hair must not be washed on Chinese New Year's Day. It's seen as not a good thing to wash one's fortune away at the beginning of the new year. Have you loaded your washing machine yet?
I've unloaded it.
Oh, do not wash any clothes on the first and second day of the new year because these 2 days celebrated as the birthday of the water god.
I think the water god would be more upset with the mud that was in the clothes.
Hello and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast, the podcast you never asked for. Great spine intro from Lizzie and Andrea this week, both previous guests on the show. And if I was delirious and staggering around the Cheviots, then I can't think of 2 people who I'd rather bump into. Good energy, safe hands.
And I saw Andrea had just got her mountain leader as well. Again, 2 women, if they said, let's do a women's climb up Everest, I'd be like, I'm in. Following you guys.
Well, Trish said, didn't she, on her Dragon's Back? Andrea, great energy, good, calming presence, motivation, all the right words. And Lizzie was at Troutbeck Checkpoint, Lakeland 100.
Safety team on Hadrian's Wall on the spine.
What a sight
her
for
little
size.
head touch, and she went, it's only me. It's Lizzie. As I went, oh no, what are you? Are you the Chinese water god?
Please keep those intros coming. Email them to hello@teaandtrails.com.
Buckle up, lace up, lean in, fill those water bottles, count out the gels, share your live location, pack your nano spikes this time of year, and off we go for another rip-roaring episode of Tea and Trails. I've been watching Downton Abbey with my youngest, so I'm right in there.
So you're going right back?
We've gone right back. We watched the film the other evening, and she just asked me all the way through, what is happening? So I said, let's go right back. I can't remember, like night Manager. Can't remember what happened. So let's go back, start at the beginning.
I've been a bit disappointed with Night Manager. I heard it was so good. It is good.
We haven't even got to it. I think we've got 15 minutes, and every time then someone comes in, and it's just a wee bit violent, isn't it, for younger?
Good TV recommendation. Small Profits on iPlayer. Incredible.
Thank you, patrons, keeping us honest, making us feel so loved. Join Patreon for a year and you save 10% on your membership. And if you join the legend tier above, we'll send you a bubble hat too. www.patreon.com/DNtrails to find out more deets.
Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Harrier Trail Running and Phoenix Light UK for sponsoring this week's show. I'm muted the burp.
I didn't know what you were doing because you put your hand up and I thought, oh my God, he's going to sick through his fingers or something. You don't normally mute it on when it's just you and I. You normally just straight down my ears.
X Miles is a family-owned, independent endurance sport retailer that provides nutritional goods, apparel, and accessories to help athletes perform and recover at their best. X Miles offer a wide range of high-quality products from leading brands, and their team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners, and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just getting started, X Miles is the perfect place to find everything you need to succeed. Fancy trying some new products? Well, you might want to check out X Miles monthly nutrition box. New fuel every month. It's the easiest way to try fresh products and flavours at below normal prices. This week, it's the turn of the Blueberry Almond Crisp Cliff Bar. This was delicious. It's got to be my favourite type of like flapjacky sports fuel. I nibbled on a bar and sipped on my bougie flat white before my run at the weekend. It was fun times in the Corsa, Eddie. Fun times in the Corsa.
It's like quite posh from the Corsa, isn't it? With a flat white and a Cliff Bar.
Decaf. Other goodies in this month's nutrition box art. I need to send you some of these actually. Which ones would you like? So you've got a Bix 40-gram gel, salted brownie trail butter. I've never heard of that, but that's like got that real food kind of vibe.
Squirt that straight in my mouth.
Victus pre-activity drink, Muir Energy Gel, again, that natural ingredients, a couple of UCAM products and a bar from 22 Sixers. Yeah, we'll be working our way through all of them this month. And listeners can get 10% store credit at www.xmiles.co.uk via the link in the show notes. I've got about £4 store credit now over on X Miles.
Get yourself a Blueberry Cliff Bar.
Pop over to you, Coco Projects, if you would like an awesome Tea and Trails cap. And don't forget, patrons receive 20% off. Also, all you lovely listeners can enjoy 10% off with the code T10. If you're looking for all the discount codes, then head over to Patreon, teaandtrails.com, or check out the show notes where you'll find our link tree. Also, stick around to the bitter end if you want to be in with a chance of winning a fabulous Precision Fuel and Hydration bundle. It's an awesome prize, so please check it out.
You had a mega week.
I had a big week.
You must be tired. You had a mega training week, plus you've been celebrating Chinese New Year. You must be exhausted.
It must have been nearly 20,000 feet. A lot of it was missed though because I don't record it. Lots of times on the trails, lots of time planning future recce's too. So I'm fully immersed in this Northern Traverse. And yeah, the training side of it, I'm absolutely loving at the moment. I've got to say, I am buzzing. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling up and about. I'm not as fatigued as what I think I should be. I seem to be able to get myself up for these big long days, double days. Like they weren't consecutive, like back-to-back long days. I had a break in between, but still big days, 2 workouts a week. The only thing that is giving me some mental friction is all of the little elements of the Northern Traverse, which is slowly but surely frying my head. Like, how am I going to approach the race? Going beyond that 100, I think 13 Valleys was 115 miles, so everything beyond that is freaking me out. The pacing, the nutrition plan, A, B, C, D, sleep and puking, all those kind of things. So that is front and center of my thoughts. But the physical training side of things, I'm really enjoying. Yeah. Also, I've not really said this. It's not a vegetarian. I'm a pescatarian where you just eat the fish. 3 weeks now.
What a hero. I'm amazed that hasn't sort of come out in some sort of national
I always have this dilemma we've talked about this before, well, if you value all life is equal, then I think being a pescatarian is probably the worst one to be, apart from being, well, because last night one of my meals was some prawn dish.
I wondered what you had then. That was my next question then. Deep podcasting question. And what's your takeaway?
It was an egg foo young with king prawns. Yeah, I thought it was delicious. So if you value all life as equal, I've probably killed about 10 king prawns eating that meal.
And some.
While if you just...
And their families.
And their loved ones, yeah. If you then just say, I'm just going to eat beef. Sorry, vegetarians, this is a terrible chat. But if you're going to eat beef, a cow would feed hundreds of meals while I've killed lots of prawns just for one meal. Wrestling with that. It was just sausages, really. It was sausages that turned me off meat.
Yeah, I get really nice veggie ones. Can't believe this isn't pork or something they're called.
Yeah. Every time I saw a sausage,
delicious.
I feared the worst.
What did you fear?
I feared the worst.
I don't know what you mean. Is that something I should know?
It's
Being rude.
No, it's a bratwurst. It's German sausage. I feared the worst.
Oh, you're being hilarious. It's too much.
Oh, Wes, I've been thinking about that all week. God damn it.
Have you? God damn it.
Anyway,
Well,
how
it's
was
good for
your...
you. Make sure you keeping your iron up and your B12s and everything. I'm sure you take your multivits, don't you?
How are you pulling up after that 6-hour event?
Terrible. You smashed it and I didn't. So I felt really, really tired. And I don't want to talk too much this week because I've got this cold and nobody wants to hear that. So anyway, in short, I did not feel good. I felt very, very tired. Had my blood tests done, had my blood test results. I'd had them done the week before. So I had them done before the race and they were not good. They were not good. So I had really bad sleep for a couple of nights. I think a bit of anxiety and general fatigue. So that didn't help either. And then, yeah, my iron has not taken. She's not taken.
Plateaued or dropped?
It's not dropped, but it hasn't got, so it's still really, really low.
Yeah.
So I'm not absorbing anything, basically. It's really boring. Everybody's had enough of it. Lovely Dr. Grace came to our rescue again. I think you're going to have to start paying her with what I should do because all I got was a text message from the GP. If you're not absorbing your iron and your levels aren't going up, then there are then further measures. And Dr. Grace had actually been to a conference, yes, where they'd been discussing this. So she sent me all the slides through about what your next, which was really great. I mean, I don't know what to do without her. We've got some next steps to do, but Northern Traverse. So it blew me a bit mentally because having felt pretty good at that 6-hour race. So then I felt fine, like my body, but I did feel like someone had smashed me around the head. Same after the recce. So that is like all. And I tell you what, another symptom of this very low iron is my hair, Gary. It's horrible. It's like I've almost got a wig. You probably noticed because normally it's like I've got a wig on top of my head. It's like it's not my hair. It's so brittle. I literally feel that I could pull my hair off. It's like I'm gonna have to have it all cut off, I think. And it's a symptom of this. So if your hair is feeling horrible, so I have got to have a iron, I keep calling it a transfusion, but it's an intravenous iron drip to try and get my iron stores up. Otherwise, there's no way that I can do Northern Traverse because I will be KO'd by Kirby Stephen. That threw my motivation and my mojo a bit, as I think it would anybody at the beginning of the week. And I was a bit like, and then I think mentally it hit me a bit too, because if you know that something isn't right, you then get a bit like, I was like, well, should I go and do my long run? Am I just digging more of a hole? It's really tricky. And of course, there's nobody to tell you what to do. So I I set myself a little arbitrary target of between 10 and 12 hours, right? I was like, just do 10 to 12 hours of aerobic work this week. Doesn't matter what it looks like, sit on your bike, do a run, do a bit of biking, do a bit of running, just move and just keep a bit of aerobic work. So that's what I did.
If you're not doing that like high impact, that again,
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, give yourself a week and like half the mileage. When this is great, we always go on about cross training. This is great if you have got the ability to cross train, and then I was like, right, so I'll half my mileage this week while I'm still trying to like reboot from the 6-hour event, and sat on the bike, which I enjoyed because I'm getting stuck into Bridgerton a little bit too much. I come off the bike after about an hour after watching Bridgerton. I have to slap myself a bit, get back into mum mode, get out of the corsets.
Did Gemma do a lot of cross training Gemma Hillier-Moses?
Yeah, I think a lot of people we've talked to have had done a lot of cross training. I like it as my backup, and I'm very happy on my bike. So I just did that and nothing mega. And now I've got the iron booked next week, and I'm assured that it takes a month to kick in. So I've literally got a month.
It's tough though, isn't it? Because we hear these like success stories, like people like Gemma, but when you're in that trenches yourself, I've got a friend who's hurt his ankle, and I'm saying to him, just jump on the bike, and he might keep that fitness level up, but he just wants to run.
Oh, I know, it's rubbish. Cross training is rubbish. But actually, I'm mentally, it doesn't. I get quite a lot of questions asking me. So, what's like a 5-mile run? How much do I have to do on the bike to match that? And you need to step away from the fact you can't match it. And I just look for like the fact that I can get much better. Last week I got much more out of myself by sitting on my bike for an hour and choosing a swift workout and then going, no, take away the watts, and able to like build my heart rate up than I did hobbling around the fields, which I did Tuesday, Wednesday on tired legs, and my heart rate didn't go above 120. You have to look at it like that as well. So anyway, so no workouts for me. Well, I did quite a few. By the end of the week, I was kind of smashing a bit more on Swift, but definitely no workouts running. You got a couple in. Did you fit a workout in with all that jumping around the moors?
To be honest, I can't remember what days I did these workouts, but I remember one of the days it was absolutely filthy weather. So I hit the treadmill. I did the classic steady effort incline. I knew the size of the task, so I just had to. I wasn't feeling it, to be honest. Although I am saying I'm quite enjoying training, but still, when you know that you've got 75 minutes.
It's still a workout. Yeah. It's a big shift. Big shift
so
for the lads.
I had to zip it up. I made sure my Netflix was on point. I was Tour de France in. That was incredible. I got my sports fuel sorted. I just cranked the treadmill up to 10, grounded out 75 sweaty minutes. Then the other session was 3 times 10 minutes plus 2 times 5 minutes. And that was a shift too. I had to pop on the paper flies for that one. I just need.
Do you know what? I find if I wear carbon on an incline treadmill, it is so much easier because you've got that higher heel stack as well.
Yeah.
So your calf isn't, which is a little bit of cheating. So I'm not wearing mine anymore because I will certainly not be wearing them for Northern Traverse. So
no, that's true.
I stretch the calf and Achilles a bit more, but no judging here.
Well, sometimes when I'm not really feeling the energy for the workout, I need a little bit of a comfort blanket.
Smash them on. Yeah. Oh, your legs are smashed because your feet just pop back up again.
Mentioned a few weeks ago, I've started to fill in my little Strava comments box with a few deets.
I see them.
So I've increased the pace a little bit. So the effort was roughly the same and the speed was up. But that first 10 minutes, oh my goodness me. And I had a narrow, you see, I always hear you talk about this. Because your children are so much younger and you've got lots of sporty commitments and school runs and stuff like that, you have a little window to do things much more frequent than me. But for some reason, I'm not too sure it was, but I had a small, narrow window to do my workout. And I love my life to be a bit... Although I moan about it, I end up working late at night, but generally I like to think things to be a bit more loosey-goosey because I'm like a Jedi at faffing. I can just faff all day long. But yeah, I was pleased. I got it done. I can't remember what it was that was making me struggle for time. Checked on my Albon app. It's got some analysis section and it shows you how well you'll perform if your target race was today. I shouldn't have tapped on that little button.
That's like looking at comments, Gary.
One of the sections, I think the running impact, so is how my body is conditioned to kind of cope with the impact over the event. I think it said I was going to thrive, but from a cardiovascular point of view, it's going to be a struggle.
What?
Well, I've always said this. Every week, it gives you the 3 metrics: impact, cardiovascular, and speed. I never seem to quite get the cardiovascular.
Is it because you're doing such slow, long runs that it's
maybe I'm just
not
getting my heart rate.
You put your heart rate on from the sessions?
Yeah, put my heart rate on from the sessions. It set the zones.
Well, we're talking to John next week and he can...
I don't want this session...
wait for him to pull this apart and then him go, that's what you've been doing?
I want to say this from the off.
Race, Gary.
This is not a 45-minute critique of Gary's Albon app use. I think, though, if I'm being brutally honest, I probably spend a lot of the time building up to... So say maybe I'll aim for 135 beats a minute, so I'm slap bang in the middle of that zone, but I've not got there immediately.
That's why you and I have to do such long sessions, because it takes us 30 minutes to get into... I'm not rushing it, though. Before, when I was younger, I could go... When I used to do like 20 by 400 metres on a track, bosh, off I'd go at the pace. Now I'd have to do like that into 4 sets, with the first 4 being like... I just can't, and that's fine. So that's why, anyway. Because actually, though you're working that first 10 minutes, you might just be slightly below the zone you want to be in.
Yeah.
And then the next, just naturally with a bit of cardiac drift, a bit of heat, even though the pace is the same. Yeah. And I think everybody will.
But I'm pretty sure Northern Traverse, everything after Kirby Stevens.
Everything after Ennerdale.
I've been lucky if I get into zone 2. I've looked at, every Lakeland 100 I've done, past Mardale, if I see 110 beats, I'm doing
incredible,
well.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So, right, it is what it is. Long runs. How about you for the long runs?
I didn't do any long runs.
I did 2. Flex.
You did one for me.
Lethal on the Moors on Friday. I went down with Robbo. It was, oh my goodness, it was beautiful. As we were driving to the Moors, we could see all the snow on top of they're not mountains, are they? The Three Sisters? Are they technically mountains?
I think you'll think they're mountains when you go over them.
But yeah, it was super slow going. And then on the way to Bloeth, we seemed to get this sleety rain and it was just like ice needles. I was praying. I bought those goggles, like as if I was going to do the spine race.
You look so good in them.
On Sunday, when I did the long run with Aaron, we put in a spicy finish, but then that run into Richmond is downhill. So to get a spicy finish for then, you're going to have to smashing out probably 6-minute miling, which feels really uncomfortable. But when you're flipping and you're climbing uphill, your heart rate can be, really high relatively, but you're not actually moving that fast. So for me, it actually feels easier to do that, run up a hill hard than to run down a hill hard. And also the price of smashing your legs as you're coming into Richmond, that is quite high. So yeah, I really enjoyed that loop. And then on Sunday, I went down with Aaron we went from Richmond to the bike centre in Reeth and then back again. There's a slight little route change there. I'm not too sure if you're aware of this.
Nope.
As you come down from Reeth, and then I think when you did it, you just stick to the main road, then you popped into the bike centre. Well, now you run round the back of the bike centre, and then you run up the path to the bike centre, then you come back down to the river. So it's ever so slightly different to the year that you did it.
Okay.
I am unsure if I'm going to stop at the bike centre.
Let's see.
I've been checking people's GPXs.
You'll definitely fill your bottles up. You'll have to because you've come from Kirby
It's
Stevens.
such a long slog. Well, I noticed on Damo's GPX, he didn't stop at the bike centre, but James Chapman did. Such a sad case. I'm going into everybody's GPX files. So yeah, you're right, actually, because you've done such a slog from Kirby Stevens to the bike centre, and then you've got 10 miles to Richmond. Yeah, you're gonna fill up.
So I didn't do a long run because I didn't have a slot till the weekend, and frankly, Gary, I wasn't going to do it. Yeah. We had a mega day on Saturday because we had given the kids and grandma and granddad tickets to Scotland, England at Murrayfield. As we all know, we had rain for every day until Saturday. The sun rose in the sky and the blue birds begin to tweet. So we had I think it was one of the best days of my life. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. It was freezing. And I was the only one having a cup of tea at about 40 minutes in. Bless Bryn, Valentine's Day. He didn't get me a card. But he said, I show my love in different ways.
Exactly.
And just before half time, he went to get a beer and he came back and he's like, do you want anything? I was like, the thought of a cold drink. And I was like, I really want a cup of tea, but I know they sold tea there. Anyway, he came back up, a little cup of tea for me, a little flapjack.
Hey. Oh.
Anyway, it was so much fun because we went with zero expectations because Scotland had got hammered the week before and England had played really well. Half the family are Scottish, half the family are English. Rory bought a half England, half Scotland flag scarf. It is the most amazing. And I think like buying things as your kids get older, like instead of buying them things for Christmas, buying them experiences like this is just like the best thing.
Oh yeah, they remember that forever.
The boys watching, like even the warm up, they were just standing there being like, oh my god, this so just watching it. Eves was like in the minority because there was we looked around and I was like, Bryn, look, there are no girls here. They are expensive, the tickets, like it's not something that we would do like every weekend, so obviously but everybody's like invested in it. All the way down, walking from the station, like there's pipers all the way down, there's drummers, then the piper stands on the roof to play the bagpipes, the national. Oh my god, it's just amazing. And Scotland then played incredibly great. It was like a try every like 10 minutes. We celebrated like we'd personally scored these tries ourselves. It was great. It was so good. Apart from the fact I was mildly hyperthermic by the end. Then out, burgers, chips on the way back. Boys loving everybody, you know, high-fiving. It was just such a great match, and just such a good experience of like, and looking around the stadium, it's quite terrifying. Thousands and thousands of people. Like, I've never been in a place, I don't think, where there's just every single seat was filled. The noise,
I absolutely love it.
I was like, I said to Bryn, the guy that like got the ball, intercepted the ball, and then ran the length of the pitch with his mate behind him, with the whole of the stadium like screaming for him. I was like, imagine the adrenaline rush that he's got right now when he puts that ball down, and I said, how many times do you think he'll watch that tonight when he's lying in bed going, oh my God, legend. Anyway, that was a real highlight of, I think, the year so far. It was great. Loved it.
Edinburgh puts on a good show. I can't remember who Scotland were playing, but coincidentally, when I went to see Esme once, there was an international rugby match going on. It was brilliant.
They do it so well as well. It's really well organised. Everything, you feel super safe. It's the guy at the station at the end where you go, he was going left to the nightclubs, right to the choo-choo. It's like a super friendly town. I was saying to the kids, come on, work harder. I want you to go to this university. And they were like, that means we have to do our homework. But you know what, it was a really cool experience. And I recommend, if you've got kids that are getting a little bit older, tickets to something that you can go and do as a family is brilliant. Inspired me. Might pick up a rugby ball.
I love it. I was just talking about this with Robbo at the weekend, that with Sunderland's success this season, how a bunch of middle-aged men basically got really excited about football again. It's been fantastic. What's your favourite denim?
When you mean like a sort of like colour of denim?
Yeah, well, you've got your raw denim, you've got your dark denim, you've got your medium denim. I heard it somewhere.
I like a sort of light medium.
You've got your acidy denim. You've got your stonewash, bleached, your dirty denim. Mm-hmm. I don't like clothes that look distressed when they're brand new.
Yes, like me.
Black denim, no. Vintage.
I like a dark denim. Do you remember that when we were younger, I'm a little bit younger than you.
Can't tell.
Green jeans, they were like, do you remember that?
But denim, green denim.
Green denim was like...
Where'd you stand on, this is the middle age, probably a little bit older than middle age. You got a blazer. I'm not so sure about a blazer, but then with like red or mustard trousers, maybe Bolton shoes.
I don't. It's not something that I would put in my wardrobe, and if you wore it, I'd be highly anxious.
Run and show outfit for next year. To kind of get up, I don't know if I mentioned Michael Portillo on the podcast before, but he is incredible. Going around Spain, he's done the trains around Britain. It's kind of outfit that ex-Tory politician, Michael.
Yeah, he'd be very comfortable in.
I've got to say.
Oh my gosh.
Claire,
have you changed your? You were a bit scathing of the Olympics a little bit last week.
No, I'm not scathing. I'm not scathing of the Olympics. I love the competition. I love all the competition. I love seeing anybody do well. I really love cheering along to Great Britain. I just didn't see those sports as a kid, so I struggled to connect.
But did you see like any of a lot of the Olympic sport? I think I saw Russell had written an article on it saying he hated it because it was a minority sport, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't think you look at it like also in these countries like in France, it's not a minority sport.
If you added up all of France's population, is it still technically a minority sport?
I wouldn't have thought so. No, I would say it's one of their major sports, and also all the kids at school get to go skiing. It's like a school trip.
Yeah.
So they all go and it's funded. I don't know if it's funded by the government.
Well, this is my problem. I don't think there shouldn't be the Winter Olympics, for example, because I haven't had access to those sports. I just wish there was I wish there was a pathway for kids in comprehensive schools basically to have exposure to
which there is in France. There is in France, and I'm only speaking of France because I know, because the kids got to go and do it, heavily funded by sorry, everybody's taxes. I totally get it though. But what I've really enjoyed about these Olympics is the jeopardy and the rising from the people that they didn't expect to go like, and then the people that they do, the cracking under pressure, the ice skaters. We watched the ice dance last night. And then they put their hand down and that's it. The medal's gone.
Yeah.
You know? in our sport where, like, you know, if you don't refill your bottle, you can come back from that. But you're not like, the race is over. Sorry, Gary, you're late.
You got
100
days to course correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the dude, the Canadian dude, giving his little curl, little brush?
And then he went up.
He was gobbing off. He was like,
loved it.
and we could all see it. The guy was like, "I'll show you the video if you want." Totally.
So I was like, that's really brave. That is really brave. They're all so brave. I just can't get over the braveness of the people. Like, I didn't even stand at the top of those pieces. I'm like, Bryn, I'm not sure I could even sit down that jump, let alone they go down backwards.
Well, I was trying to climb over a stile in between Reeth and Richmond on Sunday, and I just got locked. I couldn't move.
So I get it. I get what people are saying, and like, yeah, you feel, a sport competing, watching it. I do feel like the things like the skeleton as well. How much must have been invested in getting those medals for those men, like for Great Britain. Like, but then we have to. It's just like going to Murrayfield. You're not saying to your kids, this is what the top level of this sport is, the 0.0000% one, but allowing kids to watch sport generally, I think is brilliant, and I've enjoyed it. And yeah, we love Claire Balding. Heavy female commentary team. Shemi, we always think Shemi's one shot away from being absolutely.
We went on a little bit of a political tangent, but I just want to give a shout out to Claire Balding and Hazel Irvine. They are incredible broadcasters. Like Claire Balding, she'll do Gogglebox to Winter Olympics. I think we are witnessing some generational greats as far as TV.
Can you see her doing Strictly?
Claire Balding will do the lot. You give her half a day.
She could commentate. She could do this podcast. She could commentate on anything.
Honestly,
she'd be like,
you give her half a day.
She'd be invested. So Gary, I remember 4 years ago you said that when you did that treadmill session, your heart rate was a little higher.
And she'd be interested. It's
Let's
not like
unpack that. Oh no.
You give her half a day, she will be a wealth of knowledge. She's absolutely incredible. Because some people, I've heard like some whispers like, oh my goodness, Claire Baldwin does everything. Give someone else a chance. She does everything because she is incredible.
Also, I don't know if you noticed, but now I'm going to tell you this. She has somebody that gives her matching earrings and necklaces for every outfit. So every night there's a different necklace and earrings, and they're always incredible. Now I've told you, tonight you're going to look and you're going to go, that is sensational jewellery collection. Hey, for the good stuff, guys. Let's get back to running.
Thanks Phoenix Light for sponsoring Brew with the Coaches. The best design comes from the actual needs of users. Phoenix takes providing mobile lighting products with excellent performance as the goal and born for harsh environments as its mission. Never forget why you started, and your mission can be accomplished. Head over to www.phoenixlight.co.uk to find out more. Got a question for our coaches? Then head over to teamtrails.com and follow the link to the coaches contact form. Also, because of the way we record the show, we might not get to your question before your race, when your injury clears up, or whatever situation you are dealing with. But don't worry, we may still cover it on a future episode, especially if it is something other listeners can connect with. Have you used your HM55?
No, it's in my pack. It's in my pack for my second head torch.
Well, this is the problem at the moment. We are entering lighter mornings and lighter nights, so we don't need to lean on our head torches as much as we used to. But yeah, I took my HM55 for a spin during the week. It is perfect if you want something just a little bit lighter around your head. I'm not too sure how the lumens compare, but physically it just looks like a baby HM65. So you've got a rechargeable battery, 1200 lumen output, 175 meter beam, all of that for $79.95. Don't forget, patrons can enjoy 10% off, and all you lovely listeners get 5% off with the code TNT5. All the discount codes are either in the description, Linktree, or Patreon. We have an anonymous brew with the coaches this week. I completed the Lakeland 50 this summer with life left in my legs and having only felt a little bit sad once on the climb out of Mardale Head. I think everybody feels sad climbing out. That is when you really start asking questions about yourself during that race, which was quickly solved by a caffeine bar.
Oh, good Yeah, 100 milligrams. Straight down.
So obviously I decided to enter the 100 for next year and thankfully got a place. Incredible. It will be the furthest I've ever run, although the miles don't scare me that much. So far, touch wood, I seem to be able to keep on moving even if it's just a walk. My question is, how on earth do you get through 2 nights? I'm no stranger. This is a question asking for a friend. My question is, how on earth do you get through 2 nights? I'm no stranger to little sleep, thanks to 2 relatively young children, but how do you even begin to manage running when that tired? I'm also scared of the dark and ghosts despite not even believing in them. So the thought of hallucinations terrifies me. Any advice is welcome. Is that a case, Eddie? It's more of like learning on the job because you can't train running through 2 nights because the risk and time and everything, it's just too high. And I suppose you could bank some sleep.
Yeah, you can. There's been studies on sleep, and they actually studied the spine race a couple of years ago, and banking sleep was a great way to help with the sleep deprivation. So making sure that your sleep hygiene and everything on point a couple of weeks before, start going to bed a little bit earlier. Firstly, I would say I think knowing you're not alone about being quite nervous about running at night. I think everybody has a little bit of anxiety about running through the night. Running through the second night brings another whole host of things. But I would say right from the off, running through the night by yourself on a training run is completely different to running in a race through the night. I think I've never heard of anybody at Lakeland 100 who has gone through it that second night or the first night gone, I was scared, I was so alone. Don't worry, you will be able to see head torches for most of the way. If you got yourself in a bit of a pickle, if you stopped within 5 minutes, pretty much guarantee somebody would arrive on the trail. You're never going to, and it's a completely different environment running at night on a race, even in the spine or some of the longer, like drawn out races where you would be by yourself. A lot of the time there is that, I think adrenaline has a lot to pay for. You've got something else to think about. So when you're on a training run in the dark and you're going through the night, all you're doing is that process, and the brain would easily go, oh no, the brain is not busy. Whereas once you're in the race, a little bit of fatigue, I think, dulls that brain's voice, but also you're eating, you're drinking, you're navigating, perhaps you're with other people, you're going how far to the checkpoint, you're keeping yourself busy, so you're not focusing perhaps on, what ghouls and dark is around you. So I'd first say, don't get scared of something you've not experienced yet, because I guarantee you it will be completely different in the experience. Things that you can do to help. You said you chomped on that caffeine bar. I do think that appropriate caffeine loading will really help, especially in that second night. And take a nap. Like, you can stop at the checkpoints and take like a short nap. You might not have time to have the 90-minute full sleep cycle, but a little 10-minute table nap, 15-minute table nap will really help reset the brain as well. And running when you're tired actually is loads of people will say it's an amazing, if you were like us and perhaps you went to the clubs when you were a little younger, 2 a.m, the heavy beat was playing. It is quite an amazing experience of shuffling along when you are so sleep deprived. It is amazing. Yeah. And this is why I think we're addicted to these sort of things, what the body can do and the sort of high you get if you're lucky enough to get a clear night and you're shuffling along under the stars. You see amazing things, you see the wildlife, you see badgers, little mice across the trail. Try to reframe it as an incredible experience rather than thinking, what is the worst that can happen. I'm pretty sure you're more in danger probably popping to Tesco Metro 11 o'clock than being out on the trails. But that is not to dismiss your fears. I think everybody feels quite nervous about running in the dark and going through that sleep deprivation. But like Gary said, you can't train for it, as you've done it. So I've done it multiple times now. So I know what that second night feels like. I know I can almost push through 2 nights and a day without sleep now, but I've done that multiple times. I know how horrible that feels. I know what 1 a.m. feels like. And I think a lot of it is learning on the job as well, of learning how you cope with it. Some people are just animals and able to live without the sleep deprivation. And some people, really do need to take care of themselves, or the mind does start to play tricks. Yes, hallucinations might come in that second night, but nearly always they're not scary. And even if they are really scary and horrible, then just stop, take a nap, take a moment, have a snack.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with many people having a negative hallucination experience.
We've heard a few on the podcast, and there are a few things, but majority of people are, seeing
Yeah.
figures or something, but your brain knows it's not real as well. And I think if you got yourself in a real state, then take a nap, but don't let this put you off. Don't feel like, oh, you need to go and run through the night by yourself, because that's completely different. Like, just throw yourself into it, throw yourself into the race. And if you see a ghost, remember, as I say to the kids, because we have to run like there's quite a lot of sort of witches folktale and stuff around where we live, and and the kids are like, oh, it's kind of like, it's history. So if you get a feeling, if we are not the only people to have walked on this earth. I kind of like try to frame it like that, of like, we are not the only people, and that is why we love the running as well.
Anything like that. That would make me
would it? Because it doesn't scare me. I used to be very frightened of the dark and supernatural things when I was younger, but I kind of like reframed it to go like, if ever I did see anything or I feel anything, then I'm like, it's just history talking to me. It's just, and I feel they're just giving me a cheer. But actually, I've never, we laugh about the Victorian girl at the tin mines in Northern Traverse coming out to go, Gary, come in, save me. But actually, in all the spooky bits, of all the times I've run through the night, I've never actually freaked myself out, because you're in such a survival. You're just trying to eat the flapjack that you've got in your corner of your mouth. When you're running through the night as well, a big thing to remember is I shouldn't call it the witching hour, but between like 1 and 3 is pretty horrendous. Like, I think just being honest about that, of like, when you're meant to be in your deep sleep cycle, it can feel like you can feel really tired and like be falling asleep, and you can feel quite sick because you don't want to eat. But the minute that light, the dawn switches, which I think in the summer, if you're doing Lakeland 100, would be like 3:30, you suddenly will feel, so you have to pray a bit that you will feel better. It's literally like 2 hours of like darkness. You start to hear the odd cockerel in the distance, or a car. Yeah, you start to hear a little bit of like dawn arriving, and you will feel better.
You can sleep on the 100, Ambleside.
Yeah,
I've never actually done it, but there is. I'm sure there is.
You can sleep at the bottom of the steps. I think there's mattresses.
In Ambleside, you can physically go into the building just above the checkpoint, and I'm pretty sure you can get your head down there.
Dear Anonymous, I would have a little chat to people as well, and find out where you can sleep as well, because I think that might make you feel better as well, if you've got a bit of a plan of like knowing. But no, especially this race, you are not alone. And you will be with like-minded people, and most people pal up with somebody at the back end of this race as well. You're never far from anybody. You are in good hands. Get yourself a good head torch, and you can do this. You can totally do this. Don't let that be a barrier.
That first night, you'll be fed up with people. It's so busy.
Oh, yeah. You'll be like, didn't sign up for this. I was trying to get away from the kids.
Thanks, Harriet Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and Tales from the Trails. Harriet is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproofs, poles and other trail essentials. If you're after waterproof trousers or a jacket, then you are in luck. The Exmoor 2.5 layer jacket and Dartmoor waterproof trousers, they nearly vanished on their first run, so Harrier are about to restock. George was back behind the camera on Saturday. Harrier wanted a couple of pictures of me. I'm not too sure why, wearing the Exmoor 2.5 layer jacket, and that's why they pay us the big bucks, Eddie. It was a little embarrassing. I think there's a price to pay for being this photogenic. Head over to www.harryrunfree.co.uk, and don't forget you can save 10% with the code TEASE10, or check out the brilliant trail bundles for up to 20% off. Also this month, Harrier are running a cracking promotion. You could win a £1,000 stay at a luxury spa for you and your other half, or a trail buddy. You can choose from one of 10 gorgeous Champney spa locations around the UK. To enter, just head to www.harryrunfree.co.uk and enter your email address into the pop-up box that appears. Harrier will pick a winner at the end of February. I did enter. It's Lisa's, I'm not going to share what birthday it is, but it's a significant birthday at the end of this
21.
year. So if I win it, I'm going to use that as the birthday present. Don't tell her though, I won't want to share it. Maybe I could go, maybe I could share it with Robbo. Robbo and I around the jacuzzi with our matching robes on. What do you think?
If you took Robbo, okay, you can take your wife over me, but if you took Robbo...
I've never done a spa. What does £1,000 get you?
They'd be flaking our feet off and our face.
Can I get rid of these creases? I really don't like these. I've got these
Oh,
creases.
you're going to get some Botox. I'd give it all to you. You could have all the Botox and I'll just...
What am I looking at?
Gym.
Is that thousands or is that just like
I don't...
It's a bit beyond the collagen. It's not really doing anything. First up in the Strava Club, Kev Jeffries Sports Stride Clinic, 60.8 miles for the week with the longest run of 17.1 miles and 4,475 feet of vert. Smoking fast local runner to me, and a physio, just up the road. I think it's in the Seaham area. I find Kev really inspiring. He's a little bit younger than me, and when I nearly said broke onto the scene, I've never broke onto the scene, but when I started running...
You've been watching Winter Olympics. I broke onto the scene with the double, triple trail loops. Grab.
I was always... Kev was doing marathons at the time. I'm not too sure what Kev runs these days as far as competing is concerned, but he was a masters athlete and he was like doing 235s, 234 marathons. So I found it, super, super inspiring. Next up is Lloyd Cross, 68.7 miles for the week, 11.8 mile long run, 2,846 feet of vert. Couple of sessions with the Shenley Striders, recovery runs, lots of soggy miles too. Recently supported a mate who was doing the Quadzilla. If my memory is correct, the Quadzilla is 4 marathons in 4 days around one of the lakes in Milton Keynes.
Oh, yeah.
Very impressive. Last up in the Strava Club is Leslie Clark, 98.8 miles for the week with the longest run of 95.6 miles and 14,616 feet of vert. Request to follow Leslie. 95.6 miles long run though.
I'm just trying to find it.
I was going to ask you that, What
Well, I
could
found
that
Leslie
be?
Clark, who's a blind veteran.
Okay.
I don't think that's this Leslie Clark. 90-year-old Army veteran Leslie Clark.
But either way, wow, 95.6
Leslie Clark
long
is
run.
no stranger to the spine.
Ooh, but well over 14,000 feet of vert. Smashed it, Leslie.
We thought we'd give a heavy flex this week to Megan, who, if you've not listened to it yet, was our guest on our guest episode. And we know she's listening to the podcast as she's... Are you following her on Strava? The route, they're trying to find the route round the coastal. Oh my God, must be exhausting. But we thought if she had popped this in her ears and was listening, she might perk her up for as she's smashing her way around the north of Scotland. Keep it going, keep those miles ticking away. Looks like the spring is springing and you'll have some dry days as well.
Tales from the trails.
Dear Gary and Eddie, I hope you're really well. We are, we're still alive. I think that's more we can ask for at the moment. And enjoying a slightly warmer weekend of training, and good luck in the Hardmoors tomorrow, Gary. This is coming a few weeks ago. I have run for many, many years and ran all the way through my pregnancy, thinking I'd bounce back and be back to fitness within weeks. After an emergency C-section, I found the journey back to running absolutely humbling, to say the least. We've all been there, my friend. Then balancing work as a senior leader in a school, oh my gosh, looking after my little girl and running was an absolute minefield. Lol, that I used to think I was busy, tired, short on sleep. I finally found some rhythm and got back into proper training, helped by the wonderfully inclusive Punk Panther events here in Yorkshire, and also a training plan from the amazing Kim Cavill, where she's taught me through as my spirited 2-year-old attempts to climb the bookshelf in the living room. Throughout this comeback, I found your podcast so refreshing amongst all the running influencer rubbish, so prevalent online. It's really inspiring to hear about how you fit your epic training sessions in around life, or like me, just don't do them sometimes, and kids and work, and to hear about people like Libby and Trish who are accomplishing amazing things while working and mumming too. For me, you are the real influencers to keep me out running and wanting to keep going, even when life is not a perfect filtered Instagrammable post. You've made a space in the sport for the voices of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Thank you for all that you do. Oh, love from Ellie Attack. What a great name, Ellie. Ellie Attack.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Ellie. And kudos. Coming back from having a baby is no easy journey. And also then having a big job as well and juggling it all. I get lots of emails and requests, and I wish I could help everybody on mums saying, I don't know how to fit it. It is really tough fitting everything in. And having had, when before you've had children and you think it'll be fine. And of course, it's a real juggling act. So kudos to all the mums and dads and who are out there juggling everything. It's not, and I always say it is never, ever wasted time, because being active for your children is one of the most important things I think you can do. We love your Tales and Trails, heavy flexes and birthday shout outs. Please email them to hello@teaandtrails.com, and don't forget to put heavy flex, Tales and Trails or birthday as a subject.
thanks Precision Fuel and Hydration for bringing us home. Their website and newsletters are such a good source of knowledge, article to read, and YouTube content to binge on too. On YouTube, you can learn how to fuel an ultramarathon, what pro runners carry on race day, and how to nail your marathon prep. Precision Fuel and Hydration's handy, free online sweat test and nutrition planner will help you personalize your hydration and fueling strategy so you can perform at your best. Also, I would check out their Instagram too, because this week they actually posted a great piece on their socials about starting a marathon properly hydrated. I'm pretty sure the same principles will apply to the longer stuff. Like, it would be a shame, you're doing all that training and you've got a little bit of self-sabotage right at the very end. Yeah, I would check it out. I'm not too sure if I need it or not, but I feel like I'm constantly sipping on an electrolyte drink.
Well, I think it makes you drink more if you've got the electrolyte in it. I do think it makes you drink more. I don't know. That's not scientifically proven. I just think if I have a bottle with electrolyte tab in, I kind of like drink it more than if it's just water.
If I'm showing for 2 workouts a week, which are quite large, and then 2 long runs, I'm always in that pre and post workout or effort. So yeah, it's going in.
I say nothing.
Head over to www.precisionhydration.com and don't forget patrons get a whopping 20% off. But if you would like to try Precision Fuel and Hydration, then you are in luck. Use the code T2026 for 15% off your first purchase.
We thought this week we would talk about how to be consistent in your training. Gary is the king of consistency. I'm much more, not slapdash, but I'm just much less, I think, consistent than you are. And so if you're struggling to, if you're struggling to stick to a plan or to make a habit, I think then you need to almost scratch it and go, what I've actually set myself is not realistic. And I think that's the biggest reason why people don't stick to a training plan. And then because they don't, then they give up on everything. So if one little thing slips, I think when you're making your training plan for the week ahead or looking at a thing, I always like go 80% you. Don't go 100% you, because you're going to disappoint yourself. So go like 80%. If you think I've got an hour slot there, give yourself a 40-minute run. Because if you've got time then to do more. But if you've only got an hour slot, don't give yourself an hour run, because something will happen. You'll be late out the door. They're like make your plan and then cut it all back by 80%. And then if you do 70% of that, you're winning in life. So I'm always like, and I say to my athletes, make the plan, but it's written in pencil, and have the rubber firmly clutched in your other hand and be prepared to rub it out and rewrite it. And that is still being consistent as long as there's something. And if that says rest because something's happened, then that is fine. But I think being flexible is a key to being consistent, rather than, well, because it's what the plan says, so it's what we need to do, because that is just what AI wants us to do. Little and often, I think, is my absolute key. I've took my one pass after the race, my 50 press-ups, because I couldn't get down to the ground. But I have done my 50 press-ups every single day.
Incredible.
I'm heading into 3,000 press-ups. Can do 50 now. 45 seconds takes me. 45 seconds to do 50 press-ups. It's a non-negotiable. How do you make the press-up harder?
Is there some way you could make the press-up?
I try and do it faster. So I try and go like... I warm up with 10 and then I like punch them out.
You'll have Evie and Rory on your back soon.
Yeah, well, they're doing it next to me. Evie does a 10, Rory does a 40. Yeah, put Lindy on my back. Little and often, I think, is the way. So that is like, I can totally do that. You can always fit in that. If you've got sore Achilles or calves and you're like, I've got to do my calf races, I think making something happen every day is the way to do it. If you go, I'm going to do that 3 times a week, it'll get to Thursday and you're like, I've not done it once. Yeah. Whereas if you do little and go like, right, I'm just going to, every time I come back from my run, I'm going to put that calf raise step there, or I'm going to stop at the step of the door and I'm going to do 10 calf raises on either legs, and I'm going to do 10 of those every single time, non-negotiable. If I haven't done it by the time I get into bed, I'll get out of bed and stand in my pajamas and do it. Like, I think that is the way. If you have to do something in your life or you've struggled to fit something in, then doing something every day is a good way to do it.
You can multitask those. Sometimes, again, it's just adding more and more on.
Yeah, don't add it.
I bought the slant board after talking to Tonya, so I'll do my 2 minutes calf raises when I'm brushing my teeth.
I just have it by my desk, and I'm like, instead of a scroll on Instagram, that's bricked, then I stand up and I'll do like some little squats down and some calves, little and often. We talk about this and we laugh about this a lot, don't we? But gaslighting yourself into doing stuff, I think that is, thanks Love Island, that phrase. But I think that is like, just bribe yourself, like run to Starbucks if you think... Multitask, I think, is the way to be consistent. I've often thought about parking my car. I just haven't found the parking space because I'll get told off for leaving it somewhere, and running back from like the school run. And then I would fit in like 40 minutes run because I could like loop round and then back again. Russell says this, and I think this is a great analogy for life. You don't necessarily have to put Rolos, but I think if like getting out in the morning is the only way you can get stuff in, or late at night, put something in your pocket. He suggests putting Rolos in your pocket. I put something in the car. Like I always, like if I've got to do, like I've got a football run, so the kids are playing football, and then that means running around dark streets at 7 o'clock at night, I'll have something like peanut M&Ms in the car for afterwards and a flask of tea.
Must be a couple of months ago now. I fueled the whole run on peanut M&Ms. Just because just I needed a cuddle.
Sharing your plans, like you, Gary, you and I talk about our training. And so in some ways we kind of like have to be responsible to be like, we've got to show up on the podcast and it's on our training otherwise, or be, you know, realistic while we've not done it. I do think writing down the plan will help with consistency too. We say this whenever I go running with mates, is like actually the best bit of our running journey is being fit enough to do stuff with mates. Like you want to be able to join your mates for, like, if someone says, do you want to come and recce this bit, or do you want to do this bit? I think putting that in the diary really helps to like go, I've got that to look forward to, but also I want to be fit enough to be able to do that and not be the back marker, or just be happy being the back marker like me. So I think having little things in the diary to break up training and to make, you know, going somewhere different helps a bit with the consistency as well, if you're struggling with that. Why else would people struggle with consistency? I do honestly think the biggest thing is, and it is, the plan is too much.
Loads of things that you've said are pretty much what I've wrote down too, but one of my biggest red flags, if I'm ever going to look at a training plan and week one terrifies me, then that is immediately not the plan for me. But I think it all starts, I know some people don't enter races, but I would look at the race. I'm wrestling with this quite a lot at the moment, with the commitment that I want to put into the Northern Traverse and how sustainable that is maybe for future long races. And I'm just not really there, I think, for that journey. So I would always look at the race, what that involves or what I think I want to put into it. And then that would also then translate to the plan, or maybe a coach if you're a coach athlete. So you might see a coach or an influencer that has a big following or success with certain athletes, but they are not you. They don't have your lives. They don't have your commitments. You know, that race might look awesome. I'm guilty of this. The media team does such a good job. The race looks awesome on social media, but if you can't commit to that journey, then I think you're just setting yourself up for maybe a DNS, which is a kind of a bruising experience, and then also months and months of heartache in the build up too. You'll know about the, say, physiological reasons for keeping your easy runs easy. The mental load, I see quite a lot of people running their easy runs too hard. And imagine if everything you do has a certain amount of effort, the mental load that you're going to carry all week, and that is going to burn you out, and you're not going to be able to show up, I suppose, when you need to show up on your hard training days or on race days. I love sharing the journey with mates. You mentioned it too, the training and the racing. You know, there's All County Tops. There was the 5 Amigos on the Lakeland 100. Laughs, memories, motivation, you know, shared adventures, and also that bit of accountability too. Leaning towards one of my other points, really, I'd listen to the whispers, and this might not necessarily be the niggles. Obviously, if you do pick up a niggle, then you're going to lose time training, and that's not really going to help with your consistency. But if it's all feeling too much, then I would back off a little or a lot, whatever it takes to keep you running into your old age, as opposed to burning bright for 2 years and then you've fallen out of love with training, you know, and that kind of leans on keeping your easy runs easy. If everything's hard, you'll keep striving for more, longer. Eventually something might snap if you're not kind of listening to those cues. And this is not necessarily about me, but I've made a conscious effort after Northern Traverse. These hard mode trail marathons, they are hard graft, much more aerobically challenging than, say, runs like the Lakeland 100 or the Northern Traverse or, say, Lakeland 50. I've kind of seen some signs in myself how I'm thinking about my running, and I just needed to take a load off and try and kind of keep that longevity in sports. So yeah, listen to those whispers physically and mentally. I'd love to be that wrinkly old guy scrambling up Helvellyn in his 70s.
Not far off.
Yeah, not far off. But yeah, just, you know, keep an eye on yourself, I think, as opposed to what social media is kind of trying to suck you into doing.
Oh, just delete it. Honestly, life is too short for any of that shenanigans.
If you're lucky enough to have a little crew, though, like we've got our Thirsty Thursday crew, and they're all off on Thursday night. I'm going away tomorrow. I was away with Robbo and Aaron over the weekend. Aaron slipped over in a puddle in Reith. We'd gone through all those trails, stayed on our feet, came out of Reith, the flattest part of the trail. We both fell over. He went in the puddle, sat in the puddle in his bum. He had to run the 10 miles with a wet arse. It's like the tree falling in the woods. He could have kept that story all to himself and said I was chuckled away for 2 hours to myself, reliving it.
Look at his muddy bottom.
Yeah. February's competition is supported by our friends Precision Fuel and Hydration. One lucky listener could win a £250 hamper full of Precision Fuel and Hydration goodies and a one-to-one video consultation with a sports scientist to nail your nutrition strategy. To be in with a chance of winning, pop over to Instagram. You got to like this post and tag a friend in the comments. A friend who you think could really benefit for some fuel and hydration help. The person who does the tagging will be entered into the competition. So if you get tagged and you fancy the look of a £250 hamper and a consultation, then you need to like the post, share it to your stories and tag someone else too, if that all makes sense. Yeah, share the post to your stories and follow TN Trails and Precision Fuel and Hydration too over on Instagram. This competition closes at midnight on the 28th of February 2026. It's for Instagram only. One winner will be contacted by direct message. Good luck.
Do press ups before you enter this. Spend your time on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. We love you for listening. Share the episode, share the pod, share the love. Pop over to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, or even consider becoming one of our awesome Patreons. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, and Harrier Trail Running for sponsoring this week's show. Discount codes TNT5 for Phoenix, T2026 for Precision Fuel and Hydration, and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thanks to our partners and Patreons too. We couldn't do this without you and your ongoing support.
Hope you all have a wonderful week. Good luck to everyone making their way to Sedgefield for the 2026 National Cross Country Championships. See you there. If you're going, it's only Tuesday, but the forecast looks great. I think we're looking at about 15 miles an hour winds. Looks pretty steady. The weather up to the weekend and 12 degrees. Double
Taps
digits.
off.
Taps off. Yeah.
Are you running?
I am running. I think I'm on the car park duties first, and then I'm going to put on the old blue and white of Sedgefield and go and do, I think it's 8 miles.
Is it about 10k? Oh, it's
No,
8
no, no.
miles. Woo,
Yeah.
spicy.
So that's going to be my workout for the week.
Right, it's going to be.
Let the trail or tarmac rise to meet you and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to your future self, breathe and believe, keep your shield high, and if all else fails, chase the ball. My name is Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was the Tea and Trails podcast.